All right, good evening. It's Thursday, February 12th, and we're going to convene this session of the Ridgefield City Council. Would you please rise and join me for the flag salute?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you very much. Miss Julie, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Davis.
Present.
Councilmember Favela. Here. Councilmember Wells.
Here.
Councilmember Burkle.
Here.
Councilmember Hamilton.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Chipman.
Here.
Mayor Cole.
Present, thank you very much. Mr. Stewart, any late changes to the agenda tonight?
No late changes, Mayor.
Okay, we will move on. We do have a proclamation to lead our night off this evening. It is Black History Month, and we have Larry Nelson, who's the president of the Vancouver chapter of the NAACP, here to receive it today, and we're glad and honored that he has joined us for this. I'll read the proclamation, and then we'll have Mr. Nelson come up here, and we'll do like a quick photo op, and then allow him to say something as well. So the proclamation says, whereas the theme of Black History Month for 2026 is a century of Black commemorations, marks a century of national commemorations of Black history, and whereas Black History Month traces its origins to the work of historian Dr. Carter G. Woodson and others who sought to ensure that the history, culture, and contributions of African Americans are studied, preserved, and taught. And whereas the founders of Black History Month urge us to explore the impact and meaning of Black history, to reflect on the struggles and sacrifices made by generations of African Americans, and to gain a fuller perspective of Black life and the contributions to global, national, and local communities. And whereas we are commemorating the 250th anniversary of United States independence this year, it is important to recognize the extraordinary achievements of African Americans and their essential role in shaping the story of America. And whereas we reject the notion that challenges lie only in the past, and reaffirm our commitment to the initiatives that promote equal opportunity, economic security, and civil rights for all Americans, and to build a future where diversity is embraced and every individual, regardless of race, can thrive in a society free from discrimination and prejudice. Now, therefore, I, Matt Cole, Mayor of the City of Ridgefield, Washington, do hereby proclaim the month of February as Black History Month, and I encourage all residents to honor the legacy of Black Americans, to educate themselves on their past and present struggles for justice, and address the inequalities of injustices that linger. Dated this 12th day of February 2026 in Ridgefield, Washington. Sign that real quick. Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Nelson, would you please come forward, and we'll present this to you, and then we'll come down for a photo. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, Council, would you join me up front? Thank you. Thank you.
Wait till everybody gets seated. For the record, my name is Larry Nelson, president of the Vancouver NAACP, branch 1139B. Today is with great honor and pride that we gather here today to recognize and celebrate Black History Month. This month is not just a time to reflect on the past, but also to acknowledge the ongoing contributions and resilience of African Americans in our community and beyond. And today is of particular significance because it is our 117th anniversary for the creation of the NAACP today, so we're very proud of that in our history in America. I would like to thank the Ridgefield City Council for officially proclaiming February's Black History Month and paying tribute to the countless achievements and struggles of African Americans throughout history. It goes without saying, we all know the contributions that the African Americans have played in shaping our nation. But as we observe this month, let us take time to learn about the lesser known stories of African Americans who have made significant contributions to our society. And let us celebrate those achievements and honor their sacrifices. And let us commit ourselves to continue the work of understanding and learning from these histories, ensuring that the contributions are recognized and valued. In closing, I encourage all residents of the city of Ridgefield to participate in the various programs, activities, and ceremonies that are going to be offered this month. Please log on to our website, naacpvancouverwa.org. We have a list of activities that will be ongoing this month, and if you would like to be a member, I would also like to extend an invitation for you to come and join NAACP as well. So again, thank you for this great honor today, and look forward to seeing and working with you guys in the future. Thank you.
Thank you again. We definitely appreciate the partnership we've been able to develop with the NAACP. So again, we're thankful that you're here. We have an appointment this evening as well. This is an appointment as a city representative to the Clark County Arts Commission. This is a little bit different one than we've done in the past because this one only comes up every few years. So I'm excited to nominate Eva Kelly as an appointment to the Arts Commission. The Clark County Arts Commission, if you don't know, is an 11-member volunteer body authorized by the county to promote and support arts across Clark County. Its mission is to increase access to art experiences, celebrate cultural diversity, build partnerships that strengthen the creative sector, and support artists and art organizations in collaboration with the county and local cities. Those commissioners actually advise elected officials. They advocate for arts programming and resources and help ensure arts remain an integral part of our community life and economic development throughout the region. And as our council considers in our comprehensive plan update the formation of a possible creative or arts district, this is kind of a significant appointment to us here as it projects us more regionally. So Eva is actually a Ridgefield resident. She's got deep roots in our local creative community and a proven record of leadership. She holds a Bachelor of Fine Arts from the Washington State University and has worked as a freelance artist and arts educator for more than 16 years, spanning community programming, creative entrepreneurship, and nonprofit service. Here in Ridgefield, Eva serves as secretary of the Ridgefield Art Association and as a team lead for the newly established Ridgefield Art Gallery right here downtown, where she strengthens systems, expanded opportunities, and connected artists with community and regional resources. She brings thoughtful, collaborative energy and a deep commitment to arts advocacy. As our representative to the Arts Commission, she will ensure that Ridgefield's creative voice is heard and that our artists and arts organizations are supported and that our community's growing creative culture contributes meaningfully to the cultural and economic life of Clark County as a whole. So I'm confident that Eva will be a strong and effective advocate for both Ridgefield and the broader arts community. So with that, council, I would entertain a motion to appoint Eva Kelly as our Clark County representative to the Arts Commission.
I make a motion to appoint Eve Kelly to the Arts Commission. Clark
Second.
County Arts Commission.
Second.
Okay, it was moved by Chipman, seconded by, I believe, Favela. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much, council. The motion passes, and Eva, we are glad to have you here. Thank you very much. And I think Melody wanted to get a photo too, right? She's the.
Nobody's ever said that before.
Do you want us to come down? Do you want us to just stand up here? We can do the whole shuffle again. Do you have a preference?
Oh, I would love the whole
Okay. We'll come down again. Yeah.
We're gonna shuffle
We were going to shuffle when we're done. Yeah, we're getting our steps in. It might be a long meeting otherwise. So.
next.
Okay. Thank you again.
I didn't know that speaking was part of this, so I apologize. My name is Eva Kelly. I'm the secretary for the Ridgefield Art Association and one of the gallery managers for the new gallery downtown. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for appointing me to represent Ridgefield, and it means a lot to me, and I hope I do a good job representing our town.
I'm sure you
Thank
will.
you.
Thank you very much. Glad to have you. All right. We are going to move on to public comment. Anyone wishing to speak to City Council regarding items not subject to a specific public hearing may come forward at this time to the podium or use the raise hand feature located at the bottom of the toolbar of your Zoom screen. For controls of the phone, press star 9 to raise your hand and press star 6 to mute or unmute. Please state your name and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Hi, I'm Marilee Aisla Lee. I'm one of the committee members for the Ridgefield Art Gallery. And a couple of updates that we've got going on for you. We're going to have a poetry reading at the Ridgefield Art Gallery on Sunday, February 22nd from 2 to 4 p.m. So you can come and enjoy another form of art, poetry. We're working with the Lions Club on some things. We'll keep you up to date on that later. Of course, we'll be working with Youth Arts Month in March, and we just love partnering with the city. You guys are amazing. You're the best. Even our police department pops in to look at our art, so we are really, really pleased. And thank you for bringing in Eva to support the community this way. I have the privilege of working with Eva, and I think there's one really important thing. Everything Matt said is true. But there's one other feature that I've seen working with Eva, actually two, that were not mentioned. I think this one's real important. Eva's personality just naturally reaches out and includes everyone. She just does it. It just is her. And I think that's going to really benefit all of us. And then also, oh my gosh, that woman has the most amazing work ethic. So, yay, thank you for including her. Oh, and don't forget, art gallery hours, Wednesday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. So, we'll see you at the gallery.
Thank you.
My name is Michael Jennings. Thanks again to all of you for your carefully logical management of Ridgefield. A fundamental of good management is being aware of and being careful with all of the money. I'm impressed with what Finance Director Kirk Johnson says. Thank you, Kirk Johnson.
Good evening. I don't know if you want me to say my name and place of birth or that kind of stuff.
Just your name's fine.
I'm Bill Bauman. I'm box 817 Ridgefield. I'm here to tell you a little bit about last year's Green Bag project results. I'll be as brief as I can possibly be, although I did run across a number as I was looking at this stuff that surprised even me. In 2025, well, let me go back. In 2024, the Green Bag project gathered 47,119 pounds of food. And in addition to that, we had donations of $9,362. In 2025 we gathered 58,851 pounds of food, which boggles my mind for us to have increased by 10,000 pounds. And in addition, we gathered $10,910. Since we began in 2018, we have gathered 257,573 pounds of food, which also boggles the mind. Clyde and I did this together in 2018. We were under the canopy up in front of the high school that used to be there, and we were so happy with 280 pounds of food. We were ecstatic because we didn't think we were going to do that well. And here we are. I did a quick calculation. There's a number that the food bank, I don't know if you call it industry, but food bank people use, and they generally say a pound of food is valued at about $1.72. Clyde and I did a quick calculation this morning, and I think that's on the low end of things, but we'll use that calculation. So if you take our total of 257,573 pounds and multiply that by $1.72, you get $443,025. If you add the donations, which are $56,386 over the span of the program, we're over $500,000. That is donated, has been donated by the citizens of Ridgefield for the citizens of Ridgefield. So I thank everybody. I thank our people. I thank you for the support. I thank Steve Stewart for helping me work out a problem that we had a while back. That was very helpful. And so I think this is phenomenal. And I appreciate all your help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A wonderful report. We appreciate the updates like that. Thank you so much. Is there anybody else wishing to give public comment this evening? Miss Julie, anybody online wishing to give public comment?
Not seeing anyone online, Mayor.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and close public comment, and we will move on to our consent agenda. Council, I'd accept a motion.
I move to accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved by Wells, seconded by, or moved by Burkle, seconded by Wells. Any discussion, council? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, the motion carries. All right. On to the business portion of our evening. Our first item of business tonight is the second reading of ordinance number 1463. This is the MAJ Boschma RMUO zone change. Ms. Luss, we'll go to you.
Thank you, Mayor Cole. Good evening, council and members of the public. The item before you this evening is the MAJ Boschma zone change, which would add a mixed-use overlay to roughly 9¼ acres on the east side of 65th. Next slide, please. There's your site location with some surrounding landmarks just to get reoriented. Next slide. This shows what the zone change would look like. The current zoning is commercial regional business. The proposal would be to add a mixed-use zoning overlay to those 9¼ acres. The impact of the zone change would be that as opposed to the current zoning, which would allow only commercial uses, the mixed-use overlay would require a mix of commercial and residential uses. Next slide. As we've discussed previously, this concept fits in with multiple long-range planning documents that the city has and is producing, including the Junction Sub-Area Plan and the ongoing update to our comprehensive plan, Envision Ridgefield 2045, which does envision a mixed-use hub near Clark College campus, including these properties over the next 20 years. Next slide. As you know, the request before you is for a zone change only. It is not a development proposal. However, in anticipation of future development facilitated by the zone change, the applicant has provided a concept plan, which you've all had a chance to see a couple times now. It includes commercial uses to the south, residential uses to the north, including apartments and some live-work units along 65th. Next slide. Previously, this went through public hearings at both Planning Commission and City Council. After the council hearing, you directed us to work with the applicant on a concomitant rezone agreement, basically a contract establishing conditions of the rezone to allow the proposal to move forward. And those are on the screen before you. The portions I've highlighted are parts that have been updated since you last saw this based on your discussion and requests. So chiefly making the affordable housing component based on a % of units rather than a flat number of units to account for fluctuations in the total number of units. And then to specify that the temporary sidewalk connection from the site down to the Pioneer roundabout be ADA compliant. After the last meeting, council had a few other questions that the applicant addressed in a memo, which is included in your packet. I think a notable one there is that the applicant has stated they do not anticipate any full closures of 65th during construction that would impact service to and from the CCFR firehouse. With that, I will turn it back to you, Mayor, for any further questions.
Great,
Thanks.
thank you, Ms. Luss. Okay, council, this is our second reading on this one. I will look around. Is there any questions for staff at this point? Councilor Davis?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. For one, I'm in support of this becoming mixed use. Obviously, we've been asked to take on housing units. I think this is an appropriate place for it. I think this helps, for lack of a better way of putting it, our math problem of figuring out how all that fits together. And so I appreciate the applicant and staff for working together to bring something forward. I have two questions. For one, I saw that we have the apartments at the top, but then others are designated as live work. Can we define what live work is?
Yeah, live work unit is typically, and I'm sure these are details we'll go through with the applicant as the project progresses, but what it typically looks like is a ground floor studio or similar, and then upper story living space for the person who does the work in that studio.
Oh, perfect. Are there any other like ground floor retail type opportunities in the whole project or no?
So the southern portion of the project, the three southernmost buildings are entirely retail on this concept plan,
Okay.
including ground floor.
And then I guess the last piece for me would be when we think about 65th, I appreciate them responding they don't anticipate any full closures of 65th. If something came up that it was like, we have to entertain this, what would that look like? How would we go about working with the fire district to keep things moving?
Sure, so any work in a right-of-way requires an encroachment permit, and full closures require vetting by both the city engineer and city manager, and I'm certain that through that process we would be coordinating with CCFR due to the location of the site.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Great, thank you. Councilor Favela?
Yes, thank you. I also like the concept, but my only question is similar to what Councilor Davis asked. Not only just impacting the fire district, but we have a new elementary school opening near this project and making sure that what we did similar on Pioneer, the lessons learned for any closures, that during peak traffic times, especially with school, that we don't have flagging happening so we can keep the flow of traffic in those peak times moving thoroughly would be something I would make sure we want to see happen. And that's it.
Great, thank you. Councilor Burkle?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a quick question. On the far back side of the development, there appear to be some buildings. Would those be car shelters or garages?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions for staff on this one, council? Okay, seeing none, Ms. Julie, would you please read the ordinance into the record?
Ordinance number 1462, ordinance of the City of Ridgefield, Washington, adding the Ridgefield mixed-use zoning overlay for 3 commercial parcels with a concomitant rezone agreement.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, at this point, council, I would entertain a motion for this ordinance.
I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance number 1462, MAJ Boschma RMUO zone change as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved by Chipman, seconded by Burkle, to adopt ordinance number 1462, the MAJ Boschma RMUO zone change as presented. Any discussion?
No.
Okay, Ms. Julie, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Davis?
Aye.
Councilmember Favela?
Yes.
Councilmember Wells?
Yes.
Councilmember Burkle?
Yes.
Councilmember Hamilton?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Chipman?
Yes.
Mayor Cole?
Yes, thank you, council. Motion carries and is adopted. I appreciate it. All right. Our second item of business this evening is the second reading of ordinance number 1472. This is the Kelly Windy Hills petition to annex. Ms. Les, back over to you.
Thank you again, Mayor. This is a second reading following up to a public hearing at a prior meeting on the Kelly Windy Hills petition to annex. Next slide, please. So just to touch base on the background of the project, once again, this originally came to council as an intent to annex for the single parcel shown on the screen in front of you. Through the intent to annex process, council determined that the maximum annexation area should include 6 adjacent parcels as well to kind of square off that area. Next slide. And you did do a geographic modification as part of the intent to annex approval to expand the annexation area, at which point the applicant went back to those neighbors and they did end up agreeing to sign on as part of the petition to annex. So the total area is just over 32 acres. It is in the G Creek Plateau sub-area. The concept zoning under the G Creek Plateau sub-area plan is residential low density 4 with a residential cluster overlay. So that is the lowest density residential zone in the city as determined through the sub-area planning process. So as proposed and as written in the ordinance, the adopting ordinance for the annexation would assign RLD4 zoning. The site currently has the urban holding overlay that would remain through annexation and be removed at such a time as urban services are provided to the site and capital deficiencies addressed. I believe that's all I have to share on this one. So with that, I'll hand it back to you, Mayor. Thank you.
Great, thanks. Council, questions for staff on this one? I'll look to my left first. Anybody here? Nope, okay. Just one question from me then, I guess. So it will be an urban holding until services are provided, of course, but I know that the Kellys do intend to keep the winery portion, which will be grafted in. We had spoken about maybe like a non-conforming use or even a just remaining urban holding overlay on that. What would be the plan from there?
Correct. So the solution we've come up with, and it is a simple one, to ensure that the winery, if that area is not to develop, which is not in the applicant's plans, is to remain a conforming use. It is an allowed use in the urban holding zoning overlay, so the solution would simply be to keep urban holding on that portion of the site as long as the winery needs to be operating.
And would the applicant have to then file an application to remove their overlay with the city if they're ever ready to develop it, or would it just stay in perpetuity, or what?
Correct. The city has a process to apply with a standalone land use application to remove an urban holding overlay. It's an administrative process.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Other questions, council? All right, hearing none. Ms. Julie, would you please read the ordinance into the record?
Ordinance number 1472, ordinance of the City of Ridgefield, Washington, annexing into the corporate limits of the City of Ridgefield, approximately 32.63 acres, identified as the Kelly Windy Hills annexation area, and assigning the zoning of the annexed area as residential low density 4 with a residential cluster overlay and urban holding 10 overlay.
Thank you. With that, council, I'd accept the motion.
Mr. Mayor, I moved to approve ordinance number 1472, Kelly Windy Hills petition to annex.
Second?
Okay, it's been moved by Wells, seconded by Favela to accept ordinance number 1472, the Kelly Windy Hills petition to annex as presented. Any remaining discussion, council? Seeing none, Ms. Julie, please call the roll.
Councilmember Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Burkle.
Yes.
Councilmember Hamilton.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember Favela.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Chipman.
Yes.
Mayor Cole.
Aye. Thank you, council. Motion carries, and the ordinance is accepted. I appreciate it. Okay, third item of business this evening is the motion to approve Sanderling Park Phase 3 final plat. Ms. Lust, third time, here we go.
3 out of 4. Thank you again, Mayor. The item before you on this presentation is Phase 3 of Sanderling Park subdivision for final plat. Next slide, please. Wait till the floating message goes away. All right, so as you're aware, Sanderling Park is in the southernmost part of the city off of Hillhurst Road across from Kennedy Farms. The first two phases are in construction and built. Phase 3 is in the northwest portion of the overall site, shown in orange. The overall project has a total of about 430 lots, with the majority of those being single-family detached lots, but single-family attached lots included as well, and that is what Phase 3 is one of those townhouse areas. Next slide, please. Just another visual, but closer up, of the overall subdivision. Pay no heed to the shading. This was just the best overall image I could get. Phase 3 outlined in orange in the northwest. Next slide, please. All right, here is a more detailed plat of Phase 3. It is 28 lots. As I mentioned, these are townhouse lots, and they have access from alleys serving each of those lots off of public streets. The lots range from 2,600 to 3,700 square feet, which is consistent with the preliminary planned unit development, as well as its guiding development agreement that established a variety of housing types throughout this large subdivision. You'll see, actually on the next slide, there are a couple of tracks on the northern boundary. This is the northern boundary of the phase, as well as the overall site, that are open space tracks. They do have a pedestrian path through them. That pedestrian path connects to Phase 1 in the west and will continue through Phase 4 to the east and eventually connect into a large park parcel, which will become a city park. So good connectivity through this phase through the internal trail system. The review process for final plats, we do survey, engineering, and land use review. All of staff's comments were met. The site improvements are substantially complete to the point where no performance bonding was required for this final plat, as you've seen in some other cases. So with that, I'll go ahead and once again hand it back to you, Mayor.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Celeste. Council, any questions for staff on this one? Go to Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, for one, I'm a big fan of townhouses being part of bigger developments like this. I think it's such a great entry point into home ownership for folks. And so I really applaud the developer for including this. The one question I have is related to the alley widths. As someone that drives a full-size truck, I have found some of those developments to be a little bit tight. Do we know how, for lack of a better way of putting it, navigable these alleys are? Because I feel like somebody buys one, they have a vehicle close to my size, they might not be using it, they might be using the street, which kind of defeats the purpose of the alleyway.
Yeah, so the width of the alley is designed based on fire access standards, and it is 20 feet, which is their minimum. So that's the standard we're concerned with in our review, and along with CC and our staff review.
Okay, thanks for clarifying.
Other questions, council? For me, just out of curiosity, and one thing I like about this development, because they exist elsewhere in the city, but they're not super common, but to have the mixed types of housing in there and then see townhomes put in there as well is good. What is the price point of, are they going to sell those for? Do you know off the top of your head?
I do not know off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Do you know if the applicant intends to just sell them individually, or is there any sort of notion that they could sell these, like, these could all just eventually become a block of rentals?
That's not something I have information on either at this time.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. Other questions, council? Councilor Hamilton?
Thank you. I don't have a question. I just wanted to kind of piggyback on what Councilor Davis said. I think this opportunity, especially it's one developer, they have a vision, they have a higher end product that they're going to put forward. I think this is a great addition, like you said, for people that are looking for that price point. I think sometimes those alley lots can be a little bit tight, like you said, for the bigger vehicles, but I think overall it offers such a great solution. And I think you know that when you're buying it. So, that can be taken into consideration. I appreciate you thinking about everybody's drivability, though. I think this is great, and I like the trail connectivity, and I just want to say that I think this all works really well in this development.
Thanks, Councilor. Councilor Burkle?
I would just like to say I really appreciate the fact that these are rear-loading garages. As a result, all of the fronts of these units will be pleasant and not just big garage doors. So I really, really like this idea of alleys. I'm from Chicago, so guess what? We had alleys.
Anybody else with questions or comments for staff? Okay. Seeing none, I'd accept the motion, council.
I move to approve the Sanderling Park Phase 3 final plat as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved by Hamilton, seconded by Chipman to accept Sanderling Park Phase 3 final plat as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, council. Motion carries. All right. For our fourth item of business this evening, this will be the approval of resolution number 672, Cheeky Noodles traffic impact fee reduction. Ms. Lust, Ward for 4.
Thank you again, Mayor. So the city has long had a program in its downtown whereby business owners can petition council for reductions or full waivers of traffic impact fees. Back in November of 2025, council, you adopted a code amendment that expanded that program to the commercial neighborhood business zone. And the first business that has approached staff to perhaps take advantage of that program is Cheeky Noodles. This business is located in the Hillhurst Commercial Center on Hillhurst and Sevier. They were assessed for traffic impact fees at the time of tenant improvement building permit submittal in 2025 in a dollar amount of $18,011.73. Since that time, they have received building permit approval and are under construction going through inspections. So the applicant has submitted a memo to you, council, petitioning for a traffic impact fee waiver. The amount, again, $18,011.73 is the full amount. Per our code and per statute, this amount would need to be paid out of the general fund into the impact fee fund. This is why it comes before council, is that is a public funding source. So the question is based on public benefit of this neighborhood business. So with that, I will turn it back to you for discussion and any questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Lust. Council, any questions for staff on this one? Easy, okay. Oh, so with that, I would then accept the motion. Oh,
So is this the first time that we've had this come before us? I'm sorry.
It's the first time for a business in the commercial neighborhood business zone. Previous councils have reviewed and approved TIF waivers for downtown businesses
downtown
under
we
the
have, but not-
existing
yeah.
program, yes.
Okay. No, I think this is the right thing to do. I'm in favor of it, definitely, so, yeah.
thanks, Mayor Pro Tem. Councilor Hamilton.
Thank you. I agree. I think this is great, and it's really neat for us as a council, I think, to see this come to fruition so quickly. I think this is such a huge help to a small business that's adding so much value to that neighborhood, and I'm thrilled that we got to see this opportunity turn around so quickly, and so I'm definitely in favor.
Great, yeah, likewise. Other questions or comments at this point? All right, I would accept the motion. Oh, wait, yes, accept the motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 672.
Oh, could you do it again? I'm sorry.
No.
There it is.
I make a motion that we approve resolution number 672, reduction of TIF fees for Cheeky Noodles.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Chipman, seconded by Davis to accept resolution number 672, the Cheeky Noodles TIF reduction. Council, any questions or discussion at this point? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. All right. Our last item of business tonight is the first reading of ordinance number 1473. This is repealing the establishment of temporary speed limits and establishing a process to administratively approve a temporary closure or speed limit. Ms. Parker.
I will learn. Good evening, Council. Thank you very much. I have been working with the engineering department on some legal authority issues about the ordinance that's before you this evening. So with that, I get to bring before you this ordinance, and it has two parts. The first is going to rescind a temporary speed reduction in a couple of areas within the city that was enacted in 2024, in September of 2024. And then the second part of the ordinance that I've been working on is actually going to change the process from a legislative process that requires the two ordinances that you've used for this, and to create an administrative process that might make it a little more efficient. So with the substantial completion of the public works projects that led to ordinance 1431 in September of 2024, the city has determined that the reduced speed limits are no longer necessary in those locations. And so the first thing that the proposed ordinance does is to repeal ordinance 1431. And in doing so, that is going to repeal the temporary speed limits that were established in Chapter 10.08.035. And so that's the sort of the first half of the ordinance that's before you. And then in the course of going through this process, staff started looking at the process that we use to establish these temporary speed limits and try to make this a little bit more streamlined and a little bit more responsive to the needs of the construction process. So based on that review, did a little bit of research, and the ordinance before you adopts a new Chapter 12.17 of the Ridgefield Municipal Code, and that will authorize the city manager in consultation with the city engineer to close or restrict speed when there is construction or other issues going on, or in an emergency with certain public process. And that would include notice in the newspaper, as well as posting on either side of the particular zone at least 3 days before the speed change would take effect. And so, the other thing is that the violation would be an infraction just like any other speed violation. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions. I did understand that there might be an interest in waiving second reading. This is entirely possible, and if so, the motion would be to waive second reading and adopt the ordinance 1473 on first reading. So with that, happy to be before you. I didn't have any visuals, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
All good. Thank you, Ms. Parker. Questions for the City Attorney Council on this one? All right, that's easy. Pretty straightforward.
I like those, yeah.
Yeah. Is there a maximum length of time that we can set a temporary, is that written into the process for a temporary speed limit to be set?
So the ordinance does say for a definite period of time, but it doesn't set that. So generally, I would assume that anything over, I would tie it to a construction. So it's not uncommon to have construction projects that last a couple of years. So we didn't want to put a timeline because we weren't exactly sure we didn't want to restrict that. And so there isn't a timeline in the ordinance, but it does have to be for a definite period of time. So it is time defined.
Okay, great. Other questions? All right. Council, if you would like to waive second, you could do so through one swift motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move to waive second reading and approve ordinance number 1473, which repeals the establishment of temporary speed limits and establishes a process to administratively approve a temporary closure or speed limit.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Davis, seconded by Favela. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Miss Julie, would you please read the ordinance? Oh, shoot, did we do that wrong? Did you have to
That's
read?
okay. I can
Yeah.
read the ordinance.
It's the whole waive second thing, so.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 1473, ordinance of the City of Ridgefield, Washington, repealing section 10.08035 concerning the establishment of temporary speed limits to rescind certain temporary speed limits and creating chapter 12.17 to establish a process to administratively approve temporary closure or restricted use of city streets.
Great, thank you. With the ordinance read into the record and a motion on the table, I'll look to council for any remaining discussion. Seeing none, Ms. Julie, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Davis?
Aye.
Councilmember Favela?
Yes.
Councilmember Wells?
Yes.
Councilmember Burkle?
Yes.
Councilmember Hamilton?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Chipman?
Yes.
Mayor Cole?
Aye. Thank you, council. Ordinance passes. All right, that concludes our business. That was like really well timed. Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Garrison, just turn our lights on.
Mr. Garrison.
This is one of them smart switches, and I'm not smart enough to run it.
It was going to be a boring meeting otherwise. Yeah.
He said he was going to stir the pot.
Sorry about that, folks.
Okay. All right. We are going to go to public comment now. I see what you did. You just want to be first in line.
Yeah.
Anybody wishing to address City Council regarding items not subject to a specific public hearing may come forward at this time to the podium or use the raised hand feature located at the bottom of your Zoom screen. For controls over the phone, press *9 for raised hand, press *6 to mute or unmute. Please state your name and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Mr. Garrison.
Roy Garrison, 1186 South 30th Place. I'm in the G Creek Plateau. I'm trying to get out of the way from the donut hole. But I would like to address you folks and the staff here to take under consideration the fact of annexations. The city has the plateau surrounded. You have already annexed all the roads, as I understand, and we're going through these processes every month or so to get individual properties to come in. And I think it would be very common sense and more efficient if the city took the responsibility and annexed that whole area, because I understand by RCWs, it can be done to be that it's surrounded by the city. And it's just the initiative of you guys to grow a little hair on your head, you know, and take the action. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Is there anybody else in the room wishing to give public comment this evening? Miss Julie, anybody online remaining?
Not seeing anyone on that online.
Okay. We'll move on from public comment and go to council and staff reports. Is there anybody itching to go first this evening? All right. Mr. Wells, as the senior most member of this council, would you like to go first?
I would love to. I gotta turn my speaker on first. I've been gone for a little while. I turned around and ended up in Hawaii. And so I came back, but since I've been back, I had a briefing, ribbon cutting for Premier Management, and a briefing, but I have another comment I'd like to make. 95% of the time, I go south during the daytime. I go towards Vancouver. Once in a while, I go north during the daylight. Last night, I was coming back late and I needed to go to Woodland. It was after dark. And as I went by the Ridgefield Junction I was impressed with everything that I saw, with all the lights on. I didn't even know what we had in this community after dark going north. But it really looks impressive with Costco, and all the establishments are there. It looks, and I have received comments, actually when I was in the plane. This is personal stuff, but anyway, when I was on the plane, the lady, I did have a Ridgefield hat on. I didn't wear my vest, but I had a hat on. And she said, it was one of the stewardess, and she said, oh, I'm headed home to Portland. She said, you got in and out, and you got a Costco too. That was her comment. So I've heard a lot of positive comments, and I haven't ever heard any negative comments. So just wanted to share that as my experience in the last 2 weeks.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Wells, would you like to go next? Sure. Oh my gosh, that's the second time tonight. Counselor Burkle.
Thank you. I too attended the city manager briefing. As well, it's always a pleasure for me to go to a ribbon cutting for another new business in our city. And we had that opportunity Tuesday with Premier Property at, North Main and Simons, I think. But again, just for me, very, very rewarding to see another organization decide to come and put a business in our community. We have everything they need and they want to be here and they're coming, so most appreciative.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Hamilton.
Great, thank you so much. I also went to said ribbon cutting. I was a little late, so I missed the actual ribbon, but still was there to see an incredible turnout. There really was a lot of people there. It was very cool to see that. I had some Chamber of Commerce meeting, school board, Ridgefield Main Street, and I am making a bit of a career shift. So my time has been a bit occupied right now, but I'm very excited for all that in the future and how that plays into the city and all the things. So that's all I got.
Great, it's good. All right, Counselor Davis.
All right, thank you, Mayor. I have a few things. Tuesday night, we had a C-Tran board meeting. There was a lot going on there. A couple of big ticket items were, for one, we got a rundown on the creation of a sub-district, a potential sub-district, and what that would take. That would be a smaller footprint within the C-Tran service area that could potentially go to voters, that would help fund operations and maintenance for light rail over the new interstate bridge. And so that is something that smaller ancillary cities have been very much advocating for, tying in some of the operations and maintenance closer to the communities that are going to benefit from those assets on the new bridge. So we'll see what happens with that. We did end up approving the final environmental impact statement as one of the 8 signatories on the bridge. So that will be on the final, the application that goes to the Department of Transportation. So we did sign that off. More things continue when it comes to the board composition committee. That train just keeps rolling down the track, or bus going down the road is probably the more appropriate way to put it. Updates on that as they come. I guess one that I hadn't planned on talking about when I walked in this morning, but I'll tell you, just now or earlier in the meeting with the Art Association, I did not know who Eva was, and I couldn't figure out who she was because all 4 of the people back there were beaming and they were excited you know what I mean? And to me that it was a really cool thing, and it was just this small microcosm representation of community and what can happen. People coming out to support each other and be genuinely proud of what somebody else is doing, and that was just a really cool thing I didn't really anticipate witnessing tonight, but it was impactful and I wanted to be able to share it with you. And then the last thing I want to share is shout out to the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks.
Right on. Thank you, Counselor. Yeah, Counselor Favela.
Yes, thank you. I actually have some pretty big update, or not big updates, but lengthy. I'll try to make it quick. The ECHO Board, Indian Community Homelessness Organization, this is a board that's compromised out of Clark County, but has a representative from council from all of the jurisdictions. And they are currently working on a proposal to request the city participation in a countywide homeless systems analysis. So this would look at many different service areas in the community, such as behavioral health, healthcare, affordable housing, land use, child welfare, criminal justice, education. These systems often act in silos, and what happens when you act in a silo is you get a fragmented system that prevents people from accessing the care that they need when they need it. So there will be a proportional cost share that will go out to all the cities based on the Council for Homeless data of how many percentage of population from each jurisdiction. For Ridgefield, that is a nominal fee. When we were talking through this process, though, about what does it mean for a city to participate in such study? Does it hold your feet to anything? Does it require anything of you? We needed to make it very clear that this system study does not compel or mandate any jurisdiction to do anything it does not want to do when it participates in this study. So I believe when it comes before us, or when we get more information on this, I felt that would be beneficial for everybody to be aware of. Following up with that, we will be hosting a law enforcement panel on April 14th. All the jurisdictions will be invited to that. Representatives from city councils and our legislative representatives will be attending. So I will be reaching out to different partners. We're hoping to have our very own Ridgefield Police Department there, along with the CARES program. We decided to lump fire into this conversation because they do respond to the same population, and this really is to make sure that when people are making policy and how this impacts service, that we have the service providers or the people who are it's impacting the most saying, hey, you're going to do this work, but where are the gaps at? Because those conversations are not happening, and it's easy to sit up and make a decision when you really don't know how this really plays out in real life. So I'm really excited that we're having these conversations and we can maybe get somewhere and get policies changed so we're more aligned in what the policy is, but how does that play out in real life, who it impacts, and ultimately the services get to the people that need it. The boathouse down here at the waterfront caught fire some time ago and needs repair. In the process of the fire department trying to find somebody to repair, you need a longshoreman with a whole host of certifications to do that repair. So we will see the boathouse disappear for about a month. So it will come back, but it has to go over to Oregon to get the repair needed by the certification, the special people, and then they'll tow it back whenever they're done with those repairs. The fire department is also planning a strategic plan, public outreach and engagement. This would include representatives from council, tribe, and community from all the jurisdictions that it serves. They're hoping to have this done in September. And this is really wanting to get from the community and their own employees envisioning what their fire department looks like in their community. So I'm very excited about this conversation and bridging that community back to the service that's provided and who ultimately gets that service. Outside of that, I attended a Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year meeting that was really empowering. There were 5 youth that were nominated for Youth of the Year from Boys and Girls Club. This means they will go into a state competition and then ultimately a national competition for Youth of the Year. All of these students, these young people have experienced adversity in their own way, and I've said it up here before, I always root for the underdog, and watching them talk about the things that they've gone through, how they've overcame those things and positioning themselves to be leaders at their high schools or in their own community, I was all over that in a heartbeat. The young lady who won the award, she is a bright and shining person, and I'm really excited for her, and I was glad to participate. And those are all my updates. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Okay. Mayor Pro Tem.
So I was very pleased to see Bill Bauman here tonight. Bill and Clyde Burkle have pretty much single-handedly started this whole green bag program in Ridgefield, and it has done fabulous work. And being on the board of Neighbors Helping Neighbors, 50% of what they collect comes to us, and it is a huge, huge help in feeding people in Ridgefield. I mean, the Ridgefield Resource Center gets half of it, and we get half of it. And so when he talked about the totals tonight, it was just kind of mind-blowing. I know that it has grown every time we get, a collection, which is this weekend, by the way, but they do amazing work, and we can't thank you enough, Clyde and Bill both. So it was fabulous to hear the numbers. I am the representative to the Art Board, and so it was fun to see. Eve was so excited about being able to be on this committee, and so she was so excited about coming tonight when I was at the art meeting on Monday. So they are doing a great job too, and they are so excited about having that art gallery. So I hope, if you haven't been there yet, I hope you get a chance to stop by and see what they have there. They've done a great job. Attended the Clark Regional Wastewater meeting on Tuesday, of course the ribbon cutting, and then I think that's about it for me for this week. So
Great. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you, rest of the council, for your updates. I have a couple of things just to briefly update the council and everyone else on this evening. Before I do that, I want to return really quickly to Black History Month because we did a proclamation earlier, and I think it's worth the significance just being the centennial of what the founding of Black History Month, and also the 250th anniversary of United States independence. And so those things kind of in tandem kind of speak to who we are as a country and maybe how far we've come and how far we've got to go. But I did want to touch on it again really quick, just because we've done these proclamations every year, and I didn't realize some of the history behind that, but it doesn't happen by accident. This goes back to, as I said in the proclamation, it goes back to historian Dr. Carter G. Woodson and others who believe that history, culture, and contributions of African Americans have been overlooked for far too long. And this goes back to 1926, or 25, I guess. And what began as, quote, Negro History Week eventually grew into Black History Month, not as a symbolic gesture, but as a deliberate effort to ensure that Black history was studied, preserved, and taught as an essential part of our own American history. And the centennial moment invites us to reflect on more than just the past, especially if you look at what America continues to struggle with. It also asks us to consider the impact of Black history and the commemorations of themselves and how they've helped shape our identity as a nation, to expand our understanding, to deepen our collective sense of who we are as a nation. And that reflection, I think, feels very important as we also mark the 250th anniversary of American independence, because you cannot tell an honest story about this country without recognizing the extraordinary achievements of African Americans and their essential role in shaping America's history, both locally, nationally, and even globally. So here in Ridgefield, Black History Month matters because history lives in our classrooms, it lives in our libraries, it lives in our workplaces, in our community conversations, and acknowledging it every year isn't just about remembrance, it's about learning, understanding, and recommitting ourselves to a future grounded in equal opportunity, dignity, and respect for all. So that's why I was proud to proclaim it again. We're to do that again this year and encourage our community to engage and reflect throughout the rest of the month and honor the legacy that continues to shape our shared future. With that, a couple of other quick updates for you. Councilor Davis did mention it. I did attend the Board Composition Review Committee of CTRAN the other night. Consequently, I found myself the chair of that committee now. So I was hoping it'd be for one meeting, but it looks like we're going to have to do one more meeting. That committee is interested in hearing how a potential sub-district could work for the PTBA. So we may have a little bit of work ahead of us. CTRAN's attorney did provide a updated schedule of legal proceedings that could happen if this were to go any further. Lord, let's help us not get that far, because we don't want it to. We want to resolve this thing, but it looks like it could be pushed out. If it were to go to trial, it would be February of next year. So We have a little bit of time, but we do have some urgency because I think that that committee and the C-Tram board in general are anxious to get back to doing the work of transit in Clark County. Yesterday, I participated on a panel for the National Association of Professional Mortgage Women. It's always good to go to an event like that. I sat on that alongside Mayor Ann of Vancouver, and we got to talk about our respective cities and what we are doing and how we are going, how we are continuing to develop, and talking about the housing development and our need to add density and add affordable housing. So it was always a good opportunity there. I also sit on the Urban County Policy Board. That is another regional board within the county, and each year they distribute grants for community development block grants. The other day was significant because we heard presentations from all the applicants. I think there's over 20 applications there. That is to decide where things like microbusiness enterprise assistance goes, a lot of housing or rental assistance programs, really good things. We get federal money for that. It's about $1.5 million a year. And then we rate those applications, and then that committee awards those, not to all 20, but as many as they can. And so we'll be rating applications here pretty soon, and next month we'll be selecting who receives those grants. And then lastly, it's been a couple of weeks, but I did want to point out that I attended on behalf of the city. I attended Molly Costin's celebration of life. Molly was the former mayor of Washougal, most recently a council member. She was chairing the C-Tram board and the BCRC up until the time she passed suddenly last fall. So it was a great opportunity to sit and join other community leaders and just celebrate her life and all of her contributions, not just to the community at large, but just to the world around her. She's a fantastic person. She will be terribly missed. With that, that's my update. We'll go to Mr. Stewart.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council and the community. Just a couple of updates. First of all, on the federal legislative front, and council is aware of this, and certainly on our social media circles, we have put it out as well, but a lot of great work by our council and our community over the past 2 years have netted positive results for the community in a couple of key projects. First of all, the South Royal Road project, which is the last segment of Royal Road to be fully completed to an urban standard, and a lot of work has been going on in design and engineering and permitting to get it ready for construction. There's been money pulled together from grants from the state as well as the federal government. Most recently, we found out that we are receiving a $2 million allocation from the federal government for that project, which will help us that much further along toward construction and completion. We are looking at a 2027 construction timeframe for that project, which is obviously huge for a variety of reasons, for safety, for the kids that are walking back and forth to the schools there, the sports complex there, that entire area, not to mention an undersized culvert that will be replaced with a fish-bearing culvert to increase opportunities for fish passage. So great project, really nice that we were able to secure funding for that, and $1.1 million from the federal government and an allocation for the Kennedy Wells project. And that is in the south side of the city, provides additional capacity for necessary water for now and in the future, and produce better water resilience for our community. That project is well underway. There's been a ton of work going on that already to move that toward construction, and we're looking to start construction this year to make that happen for the community as well. So great work on the federal front, and thank you for all your work, council, to help make that happen. And in other good news, once we get the money, as was mentioned earlier, we have a lot of confidence in the people who are assuring that it is well spent, and that is our Budget and Finance group, led, of course, by our Budget and Finance Director, Mr. Johnson. Very recently, on the 2nd of February, we received a news release and documents from the Government Finance Officers Association stating that the GFOA has awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting to the City of Ridgefield for its annual comprehensive financial report for the fiscal year ended December 31st, 2024. The report has been judged by an impartial panel to meet the highest standards of the program, which includes demonstrating a constructive spirit of full disclosure to clearly communicate the financial story and motivate potential users and user groups to read the report. The Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition in the area of governmental accounting and financial reporting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by a government and its management. This is the 11th year in a row that Mr. Johnson and his team have achieved this result. We started as the smallest jurisdiction to actually get this award and have since grown quite a bit, but have not grown out of that success. So kudos to Mr. Johnson and his entire team for making sure that our money is well spent and that the public's trust is maintained. And with that, I would welcome any questions. I would wish you a happy Valentine's Day and remind you that Monday, city offices are closed to recognize President's Day. So happy to answer any questions.
Great. Council, any questions for city manager? All right. Thank you very much for the update.
I have one little, not a question, just a comment. Mr. Stewart, could we get a timeline of tentatively how long Royal Road, I know it's in 2027, how long it'll be shut down, putting in that box culvert compared to what we had on Pioneer Street too? I mean, we can be talking about it ahead of time rather than being a surprise to everybody.
We can certainly work on that and kind of work on a timeline. We certainly we have a lot of good experience that we've gained from the Pioneer Widening Project in those kinds of activities with the North Main Ave, the flap grant that was received when we installed a fish-bearing culvert bridge in that location as well. So we can use those experiences to help put something together.
I remember North Main when they done that one, and that was exactly opposite of what we had on Pioneer, but Pioneer was wider too, so.
Very true.
Thank you.
Of course.
Other questions for city manager? All right. Thank you. Mr. Thamer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have anything tonight, but happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Public Works? All right.
Kind of called it off. Yeah.
Probably might get freezing rain, but we're not. So.
All right. We're safe. Thanks. Mr. Johnson, City Finance.
I do not have anything tonight, but we'll answer any questions you have.
Great. Thank you. Congratulations on the award again, by the way. That's commendable. This is how many years in a row, did you say? 11. Wow. I love it.
I too just want to extend my sincere appreciation for the job you do for the city of Ridgefield. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, thank you. We're gonna need that. You're gonna need it. Ms. Parker, what are you?
I have no report this evening, just happy to answer questions.
I like where you chose to sit. That's all I gotta say. Like, not on screen, and so then you don't get to go last anymore. It's right there in the middle. It's strategic, I bet.
Oh, I think I'm still juggling because it seems to be a different place
Does it?
periodically, but we'll get it sorted out.
Ms. Luss.
I don't have anything else tonight, thank you.
Great, thank you. Deputy City Manager Leonard Neris, thank you.
I also don't have anything tonight.
All right. And last, Chief Dorrit.
I'll wrap it up. I don't have anything as well, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Too easy. Questions for Chief, anybody? All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, staff. With this meeting is adjourned.
Go give it to Clyde.
Oh, Clyde.